So I don't know from the other elevation. In fact, I don't even know why I'm worrying about this side, because we're looking at the other side. We're not even going to be looking at this, but it's a good opportunity to show you a couple of tools. So I just deselected it, and I'm rotating around a little bit so that I can see the. Now, do you remember the overhang was 24 inches? Well, this tool right here is very handy. You're going to be using it a lot. You knew that I could select this and show controls, etc., etc. But this is even faster. It says you can take any face and you can drag it. Okay. Now remember the overhang was 24 inches. So let's start the drag, and up on the upper left-hand corner you'll see the distance, and just hit 24 on your keyboard, and that's correct. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to get this other face. I'm going to have to zoom in to get it. Zoom out, and I'm going to come all the way down here, and I'm just going to put it on the corner, on that corner, so I know that it's right there. Now I want to come out 24 inches. Well, okay, this is 24 inches too, so that's still selected. I can select that thing. I can come out here and hit the corner. Okay, so now let's start putting in some of these windows, I guess. So do Command minus to. Let's first of all select Form Z. Do Command minus. Come down here, zoom in on one of these windows. And AutoCAD and Form Z and any CAD application, as you can see, this is probably meant to be a curve, but it's drawn in facets. What we want to do, the first thing we want to do is we want to create an opening or a hole in the facade into which we can put the mullions, and then on that surface with the molding, the raised molding, and then the sill. So as you remember, we have a polygon tool over here, which means we can draw multiple faceted lines. And so what I want to do is I want to draw a line, a 2D line. So that's this. I'll go over to the tool options. This is this 2D tool here. But what I want to do is I don't want that line to be that plane to be hovering in space. I want to insert it, literally insert it on the surface of that church box that we've created a while ago. So I'm going to click Insert. And I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to zoom in just maybe one step further. I'm going to go in here now. This is actually the edge of the hole. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go down to the top of the sill. I'm going to click over to the width up. I'm going to come up. Now watch what happens when I get up here kind of close. I get the green again. Okay, now this is a curve. Okay, I could snap facets, but that would just make it facets, and I don't want to do that. So while that tool is active, come over here to your multi-polygon tool, go down into the shapes, and go into Arc 3, which is the ability to draw an arc. All right, so then go over here. It's assuming that your first point is there, and then your second point is going to be at the top of the window, and it's going to come out with this arc. Okay, and that's this center is the third point of your arc. So depending on you can move it back and forth. Okay, until you feel like you've got the curve where it was meant to be. So it's eyeball, but bingo, that's it. Okay. Now we want to draw another curve, okay? And that other curve is going to come over here, and when we see that saying to you, okay, that's the end, that's the beginning point, your starting point. That's good. You want to click on it so you actually close the shape. And again, do your arc. Now, if you snap the command key, okay, it's going to change which direction that arc is going to go, right? Right? So I hit it again, and it'll snap back to where I want to be. And we come down until I'm happy with the arc again. And a little bit of fiddling, but right about there I'm happy with. Okay, now go to the reshape tool. Hold your Option Command key down a little bit and rotate down around. I'm going to go over here to the model. In the front elevation, I'm going to ghost it. Okay, now you've got the reshape tool available. Now if you go down here and hover for a second over that line we just inserted in the building, and you click on it and push in, you're pushing an opening into the church, right? Okay, now I put in minus, and see how it's minus? I mean, if I came out, it's plus. If I go back in, minus. Now I just use minus 7 inches. Most concrete block walls are 8 inches. I like not to have an opening. I'd like to have just a depression, if you will. So minus 7, it works for me. So minus 7, enter. And I've got that wall, or excuse me, that window. Okay, now go Command minus again, because I noticed that on this face, we have another window over here. So get your selection tool, go over here to the opening, go down here and click on it. All right. Now, get your selection tool is active. Or excuse me, the move tool. Get the move tool. Now this time we want to make a copy. Okay? We want to make a copy. So we're going to come over here and tap into that corner. Always try to find a point to use. Don't just go onto the side arbitrarily somewhere. Just go onto the corner. Click on it, and you get the red line, and go all the way over. Now you can zoom in while you're holding that hole in space. And when you click, you've created another window opening in that facade. Option Command to rotate out a little bit. Okay? So, that is that. So now if we go, what we've also noticed is that there's an exact same, if we look at minus the side of that church, he's got a whole row of those windows, and they're all exactly the same running down this facade. So whenever there's multiples of something or other, you only want to do it once. You just want to do it one time. So let's go down here and we can't do this because it's not on the same face. We can't just duplicate it like we did to create this particular window. So if you remember, we can take and we can subtract two objects, one from each other, and get the opening. So all we need to do is create something that we can use here to subtract, move it into position and subtract it on this wall. So let's go ahead, and this tool down here, which is a new tool for you, is a derive, and you can derive objects from planes and surfaces, etc., that you've got in the model. So this is a handy tool. So go down here and you want to make it perpendicular to surface, tool options now, and you can make it dynamic. Just click on dynamic, And if you go in, let's deselect. Okay, now go in here and click. And I've clicked and it's saying, okay, which direction you want to go. And I'm just going to say, okay, I want to come out here somewhere, right? Okay. So now I've created an object, another object from a face, right? Get my object selection tool, and there it is. Okay. So now we need to move it and rotate it so that I can use it on this particular wall. So I'm getting the move tool. I don't want to make a copy. I want to, I just want to move this particular one. And again, remember points and points. So go here where this is where the intersection of the faces occurs, and move it. Now it's saying I want to move it in and out, and I say, nah, that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to hit the Command key, and that reverses that direction. I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to click to the corner, okay, and I'm going to stop. Now I need to rotate that thing. So but it's at the height that it needs to be, right? Because we followed that red line to the corner. Now I'm going to rotate it. So I go down to the Move dialogues. I go to Rotate. I make sure I'm in Plan View, right? Because that's the way I want to go. I'm going to click here, click here, click here, and now I've got a mass that I can move. If I look at, now we do Command 8. And we need to come in here and move this into position for this first wall. And so I got that on. I don't want to make a copy. So I'm going to click and remember the center point. So that's and it's a good place to click. We're going to come over here and we're going to put it in the center, right? So there it is. And I'm going to ghost that side elevation so we can see it just a little bit better. Okay. Now, we've got all of these copies, or all of these windows are the same copy. So what I want to do is get the Move tool, come over here and look at this. Now, I got two options. I could click here, this one, and I could come down here and I could click and kind of eyeball it where I think it should be, and click and, click. But I can guarantee you those are not, and I double click to stop the process. I can guarantee you that those are not equally distant. So I'm going to hit undo. I could use this tool here, which go back, it's the same process, go over here, try to get it, where I think it should be, move away slightly, and then click, and click, and click. Okay, now, obviously I wasn't horizontal, but that's a way to repeat to create a repetition. All right, but I'm going to undo it. The other way is this one here. Okay, now we get a bunch of information. So go back to your elevation. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 copies, right? So we want to divide distance. Okay, divide the distance, and I want to make 4 copies. Okay, and hit enter. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take the corner, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to come all the way, and I'm going to zoom in because I want to make sure that these are correct. Okay, and then I click. When I click, I can see that I have created 4 more copies of that opening. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to subtract each one of these from the body block. Now I'm going to get this subtract tool. I'm going to get the church, the window, church, the window, church. Okay, Now I've created all those openings. All right. So if we